All right, what I'm going to show you right here is so bizarre and disgusting and jaw-dropping that I can't believe it actually happens. I mean, I kind of figured it was happening, but sometimes to deal with life, you want to stay in your ignorance and you don't want to believe that the powers that shouldn't be, who have the technology to do what they do, would actually use it against you. What you see on the screen right here is something that probably looks familiar to you if you've been around any one of my channels for any length of time. This is the July 12th, 2007 Baghdad Apache airstrike video that documented the killing of two Reuters journalists. Now, tell me if you see any difference between this and this frame right here. Because while this is happening or did happen and does happen in Iraq and other countries by the military-industrial complex, this right here is happening in America. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this because I want you to go see.
What I find messed up is that it even says that it's armed. So it's like they have armed UAVs in the States patrolling US citizens, which is kind of fucked up. So yeah, just a little preface. Like I saw like the first 3 minutes of this and I thought it was super interesting, so I wanted to share. I just have a lot of points that this guy didn't really talk about at first, which is like, okay, like this guy's scared about this UAV monitoring people in the States. And I'm sure, like I'm in Canada, but we're very similar. Our police departments follow the same guidelines. So, like, okay, this guy's about to explain a little backstory about why they're monitoring this guy, but he doesn't really explain why. They just said that he had some altercations with police, and then they blamed that he had PTSD. He mentioned he had PTSD, and then they used that to say like he's not a safe person and to monitor him, which is like pretty crazy. But the thing is, like, they probably have, well, the states definitely have a lot more than Canada, but like they might have, depending what state you're in, they might have, I don't know, I'm totally like guessing this, but they might have 2, 3, 4, 5 UAVs per city or per county or per state. I don't even know. But there's no way they have enough to monitor everybody. So it's like, yeah, if you stand out and they suspect that you're crazy and that you might hurt other people. I do know, like, now, I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie called Minority Report with what's his face, Tom Cruise. And basically they're monitoring everybody and they can see into the future and they can tell if that person is going to do a terrorist act, and then they stop it before it happens. This is basically what they're doing now everywhere, is they're monitoring people, and if they think that you're like crazy or you're an extremist or you might become a terrorist, then they can literally like do this to you. They can get a judge to approve surveillance to make sure that you're not crazy and you're not going to hurt anybody. This is the thing that I think is very scary. Not that there's 1 or 2 or 3 UAVs watching people, but it's the fact that now, like, it's like the movie Minority Report. They're trying to prevent crimes before they even happen, which is completely fucking nuts because, like, you can't tell, like, until I do something, like, I should be innocent until proven guilty. Now, though, they approve all these technologies to survey people, and I bet there's a lot of stuff we don't even know. Like, I know that they can survey using just your Wi-Fi network by the data packets traveling through the air. They can tell where a person is in the house. There's a lot of shit they can use now. But it's like, if that person never did anything wrong, you're not allowed to use it against them. But in this instance, what I find weird is this guy didn't, well, you'll see, he doesn't explain it very well at first, is that why are they surveying this guy? They said that they heard a scream, and then the guy says that it wasn't true, and then they had a reason to be on his property because they got a call saying there was a woman screaming on his property. He lives in a rural area in the middle of nowhere, and it doesn't seem like there's neighbors close by. And the guy said that no, I didn't. There was nobody on my property. It's bullshit. And then when the police did go on his property, he had a little episode and he said he had PTSD, and so ever since then now they're monitoring him, which I find is pretty crazy. But it's like, okay, is there more to the story? Did the guy pull a gun on the cops? Did the guy escalate the situation? Like, so I just had a lot to say, so I wanted to share this video. But yeah, I'll just let it play out and you'll see what I mean.
See this entire video on the Reluctant Prophet channel, and I don't want to take any views away from him, but I do want to give you a teaser and an appetizer on why you should be watching this video and share it with all of your friends. I don't care if you live in the UK, Australia, China, Japan, Canada, but definitely if you live in America, you have to know that local, state, and federal law enforcement officials are using this kind of technology on us every single day, and we don't know it. So let me give you the backdrop on this. On May 22nd, this guy named Mr. Gold moved from Georgia to Pima County. Let me just show you that. This is Pima County. This guy lives in a remote area in southern Arizona in Pima County. And as just a quick synopsis, on May 2022, Mr. Gold moved from Georgia to Pima County. And then he gets a call in June of 2022, just 1 month later, from the zoning commission saying, hey, we got some problems here. He irons out the problems. The following January 30th, 2023, a woman is screaming and they sent the cops out to his property. Well, nobody was screaming on his property. It was all hearsay, but they somehow forced themselves onto his property and went through his gate and all this. The next day, because Mr. Gold had gotten a little upset at the authorities for being there, the next day he apologized to the police department and then let it slip that he has PTSD. Well, they leveraged that, and in
Like right there, I just feel like it's very unclear. Like, he apologized to the police for what? And like, was there an altercation with the police when they showed up for no reason? And did they really show up for no reason? Was there a scream on the property? But then it makes you think, like, that's how easy it is for police to just lie and say, oh, I have probable cause, I heard a scream. And it's like, oh, it must have been a bird or something. You know what I mean? It's that easy for them to do whatever they want.
February of 2023, they issued a mental health order, and then Mr. Gold got locked up for 2 days as he undergoes a mental evaluation. That's where we pick up with this video right here. Apparently, Mr. Gold, reportedly by his neighbors, and it looks like there's a lot of conspiracy going on here between some connected people in his area and local law enforcement and some judges and maybe a prosecutor or two, but you can get all that from Reluctant Prophet's video. Apparently, Mr. Gold ran into a bush and the authorities were alerted, and then the authorities put a bird in the air with FLIR technology, which is forward-looking infrared, which Pima County has, and they spent $7.5 million on it. And here's some of the technology right here. It says, Hangar 1 Avionics has successfully completed and delivered a new custom, whatever model, Eurocopter.
But look, like, it's one, right? For that whole county. Like, so how many do you think they have in per state in America? How many people do you think they can actually survey? That's not the point. It's still terrible that they're doing that and they're using that technology on its own citizens. But it's like, as long as they're not sending missiles and as long as they don't start surveying everyone for no reason, if they have, like, if they have multiple altercations with this guy and he had issues with his neighbors and then he's hiding in bushes and there's women screaming on his property, you know, you can kind of understand why police is like, okay, we got to survey this guy. So instead of getting people to follow him with cars all over the place, just have a drone in the air that can stay in the air for probably days on end. And there you go. It's a lot cheaper.
To Pima County, this is just one of the 3 brand new aircrafts they got so they could put the bird in the air and do this kind of thing to the citizens in Pima County. Check this out.
And survey 1, I think we're going to have Gold Prius at the front gate to his house. He's opening the gate right now.
They're spying on one of our fellow Americans.
Tucson Information Echo, current.
The man is on his property, and they're spying on him. They know the make and model of his vehicle. They know his name. They know exactly what they're doing. There's no probable cause for them to be making him insecure in his person in violation of the Fourth Amendment. Imagine this I just want you to please put yourself in Mr. Gold's shoes right here. We're not going to watch all of this footage, but I do want to show you enough. These are private moments in an American's life on his property as he enters his driveway. Listen to him giving the play-by-play.
Looks like he might be on the phone.
Looks like he might be on the phone. Now, I want you to see when he gets into his car, there's a speed indicator right here. This FLIR device.
And survey one, he's back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I just made coffee, sorry. But yeah, I find this is interesting to see because then at least you know how their technologies work, right? So, yeah, anyways.
Watch when he's in motion, this mile per hour will move. Look, 1 mile per hour, he's moving. 2, 3 miles per hour, 2 miles, 1 mile. He's going slow so he can pull up and close his gate.
2-4 Golf Lighting, 210 vectors across the final per traffic.
I find how crazy how high definition this FLIR is. Like, even if you were hiding behind a tree or whatever, you're going to glow right through that tree like a flashlight. So the only way you could avoid these people like this is through like super densely wooded area. And even then, he's at 7,800 feet. Like, he could probably see under the canopy at an angle, you know, if he descends even lower. So there's nowhere you can really hide. You need like a physical, like foliage won't help. Like if it's a super dense forest, okay, but that's about it.
210,
The altitude of this aircraft above sea level is 7,800 feet. Speed is 125
he's
knots.
in his driveway now and closing the gate behind him.
Tell me this doesn't violate Mr. Gold's rights. Tell me this kind of activity isn't a violation of your rights if you were in this guy's shoes. How many times have they been surveilling you?
07 out of turn, you're going to see traffic at your 12 o'clock in about 6 miles. The Skyhawk.
191, I'll be 76%.
400.
That's just air traffic radio chatter.
24 Golf traffic at your 3 o'clock in 5 miles now. Boeing 737 descending at 5,800 for Tucson.
Roger, we got the site 2 Golf.
Now look at this, 3 miles, 5, 6 miles per hour, 8 miles. So they got a lock on this guy's Prius. They've got a lock on him on his own property, 9 miles per hour.
American 807, traffic no factor now, contact tower 118.3.
118.3, good night, American 807.
They'll be given a play-by-play when he gets out of his vehicle. He's going to go to his trash can. You're going to see he's going to dump out a cup of ice, and you'll see it's got a different color to it. It's a darker color. The lighter colors are heat signatures. The darker colors are colder signatures.
24 Golf, resume navigation to Ryan and change your advisory to your approved. Good day.
Sounds good. We'll switch over and squawk VFR. Have a good one. 24 Golf.
This is America, guys. It's not Baghdad. It's America. We're not somewhere in the Middle East spying on our enemies, trying to find out where the insurgents are. They're viewing you as the insurgent.
There's nothing information November current.
Survey 191. Survey 1, go ahead.
Did he make it into the house?
He's not in the house, but he's pulled up to almost the end of the driveway. He's kind of just standing at the rear of the vehicle. I think he's on his phone.
But yeah, it's literally, I think they're viewing this guy as a terrorist threat. and I know that there's like a law that I'd have to look into it, but it's like Minority Report. They can start preventing crimes before they happen, which like I gotta check this out. Fuck it, I'm pretty sure. Can the U.S. Imprison people before they commit crime? Preventative detention. Okay, until their trial. Not the keyword being legally, people who have committed no crime are illegally arrested and incarcerated all the time. So, I'm pretty sure anyways, I'd have to spend more time looking into that, but yeah.
Just given the play-by-play of the private moments of the life of an American. And you'll notice they panned outside the gate right there. Pretty soon they're going to pan out there and there's going to be 3 patrol cars outside his front gate.
He still has the vehicle lights on, so when you guys get to the gate, you'll probably see his tail lights.
Jet 4, did he close the gate?
10-4.
Let it sink in, guys. That is our fellow American. That could be you. Now, I understand that Mr. Gold is technologically savvy, so he's probably looking up Flight Aware where you can see where all the aircraft are in your area. He could be doing that on his cell phone right now. But he's going to go to...
That's another thing, though. It's like, if the UAV is only 7,000 feet up, it's probably nighttime now, though, right? Because, like, there's just surface temperatures of shit. Like his wall at the starting was red, like was glowing, meaning it was still hot from the sun of the day, but it's nighttime now because when they just switched cameras. So they probably only use the UAV at night, because if it was during the day and it's only 7,000 feet up, pretty sure those UAVs are still pretty big. So you could, I mean, if you really tried, you could probably still see it.
Go to this trash can here in a second. Here's the trash can. Here's Mr. Gold. We're going to speed this up a little bit. Looks like he may have dumped ice out of a cup or something, and he's throwing the cup away. He's going to lift up the lid of the trash can, throw it away, head back to his vehicle.
And he's pulling the vehicle all the way up to the main house now.
Now,
you gotta admit though, the guy in the car is acting pretty fucking weird. Like, it's how long has this been? 15 minutes for him to pull into his fucking driveway and get home? Like, it's kind of weird, but maybe it's because he knows he's being surveilled. But it's like, how does he know that? And what other, like, how often has this been happening? Like, it's just weird.
his wife is coming out of the house. They'll make a comment about that.
And survey one, it looks like his wife is home. They're both out in the driveway now.
All right, 10-4. How they going inside?
Not at the moment. They're just out by the car talking. They keep looking out towards you guys, though.
They keep looking out towards you guys. So now we got the patrol vehicles, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 guys outside of their gate, wasting time, wasting taxpayer resources on a guy who...
This is what I mean. The tree trunks are still glowing, but the foliage is dark, so it must have just, daytime must have just ended, and the trees are still warm and the foliage is cold.
Who ran over a bush because some neighbor called it in. If that's even true.
Man, so everyone looks like the wife's walking out towards you guys.
I need everyone to understand that there are apps such as Flight Radar where you can see info on planes flying overhead, but the Sheriff's Department can ask the FAA to not broadcast their ADS-B signal or public information, which essentially puts them in private mode. And then they can go one step further and turn off their transponder altogether, where they're completely hidden. Now, I know that's a bit of technical jargon, and I'm definitely no expert, but it's important for what I'm about to show you. In the center of the screen, you're going to see a yellow plane appear right where my cursor is at approximately 7:47 p.m. That is Survey 1, and it's going to circle the airport roughly 7 times until approximately 8:22 p.m. To understand how we had to put this all together, we first had to use this radar track, which is not easy to find, and then we downloaded the audio from dispatch. We then synced them all up with the footage that I took to provide you guys the full picture. Now, after circling approximately 7 times, you're going to see a slight glitch, but then the plane icon reappears and heads east towards my location. You see it passes my location and veers right before apparently turning off its transponder. It then flies directly overhead of me at 8:33 p.m. and then turns its transponder back on at approximately 8:37 p.m., where it reappears on the map, then goes in for a landing at approximately 8:44 p.m. Now, I don't understand why you guys are so fucking stupid, but that was the worst thing that you could have done by using $1 million aircraft for a joyride over top of my house. And since it is such a short flight, it'll be easy to get every detail of that flight.
Now, this is what I call honest to goodness journalism. It took Reluctant Prophet a long time to make this video. You have to compile the documentation. You have to put it into an easy to understand format. You have to whittle things down so that you don't miss any kind of important element in the story. But I do want to let you know, Pima County did spend $7.5 million on these aircraft, and it looks like they're using it to spy on innocent people without a warrant. That looks like a conspiracy between the neighbors on the ground and Mr. Gold and the police department. There is an 18 U.S.C. 241 conspiracy against rights. Yes, even the federal government recognizes the reality of things called conspiracy. And this actually says, if 2 or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate. I'd say it's pretty intimidating knowing that you can't go outside and enjoy the wildlife, enjoy the air without being spied on by law enforcement agents who are supposed to be protecting and serving you. And of course, they're going to do this. They're going to deprive you of your rights under color of law. But we got a call. We wanted to keep the neighborhood safe. So what I would like you to do right now, after you watch this video, click on, and I will leave this link in the description and the pinned comment. Click on Reluctant Prophet's link. Watch his video that he put together. Paranoid Tucson man believes planes are watching him. It's beyond a belief. It is an established fact.
And then what's even crazier is that I don't know if you guys ever heard of a thing called gang stalking. This is kind of what it is. And then the person, and right now they're being covert. They're being like, the person doesn't really know that they're following them, okay? But gang stalking is where the police department or private investigators or whatever literally like stalk you endlessly for months and make you think you're going crazy, but then all these weird occurrences keep happening, and then you know that it wasn't happening before, and now it keeps happening, and then you try to tell people and people think you're crazy, and then that's how they can get you even more. If people think you're crazy and if you have PTSD, well, then they can put you in the hospital or put you in jail. They can do a psych eval, and then if you don't pass the psych eval, well, then you're stuck in a psychiatric detention or whatever. Like they have so many things they can use against you. It's insane.
And this is another reason why we don't want them to erase data from their government-funded, taxpayer-funded cameras, because we need to see what they're up to, and they shouldn't be up to this. Leave your thoughts about this. Let me know if you're as concerned and disgusted and in disbelief about this as I am, because you can, in some way, you can expect them to do this kind of thing in Baghdad. But for them to do this on American soil to Americans they're supposed to be protecting and serving is beyond the pale. Leave your thoughts about this. The links will be in the description, including all the links that I talked about, including the link to the Pima County Sheriff's Department recruiting page, which interestingly enough, the Pima County Sheriff's Department recruiting has limited who can comment on this post. I wonder why. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. Go over to Reluctant Prophets channel. Let them know Here's the Deal sent you, and I will see you in the next video.
So super interesting. I had a lot to say in this one. Sorry. But definitely good to know. Everybody should know this is happening. And, you know, maybe somehow try to lobby. I don't know. But it's just good to be an informed citizen, and thought you guys should know. All right. Peace out.